Sunrise, the start of every new day, and the name of our leopard catamaran. Come and join Russ and Margie as they jump in to their adventure, sailing the world.
We moved the boat from Opua up to Paihia, which is maximum about an hour's trip. And we anchored in Paihia, which is here. And it's not a great anchorage, but it's okay for the day. The reason we came here was to go to the Waitangi Treaty Grounds, which is one of the most historic sites in New Zealand. It celebrates the signing of the Waitangi Treaty between the British and the Maori in 1840. Here we are entering the Waitangi Treaty Grounds. Beautiful modern buildings, fabulous landscaping. Overall, a fabulous experience, and I'd highly recommend it to anyone coming to New Zealand to help them understand better how the relationship between the Maori and the British has developed over the years. In 1840, the first signatures were added to the Treaty of Waitangi by representatives of the Maori tribes and the British Crown. New Zealand's founding document was then transported around the country to allow chiefs from other tribes to sign it. The ultimate intention of the Treaty of Waitangi, from the Crown's perspective, was to protect Maori interests from the encroaching British settlement, to provide for British settlement, and to establish a government to maintain peace and order. At the time, the relationship between Maori and European settlers was not particularly harmonious. The notion of central governance was foreign to Maori, as each tribe lived by laws set by the chief, whose authority was limited to within his tribal boundary. British settlers, in turn, regularly disregarded Maori tribal laws, which often led to conflict between the two peoples. As most early chiefs could not speak or understand English, the English version of the treaty was translated into Maori. However, there were variations in meaning between the two translations, and some obligations that the treaty placed on the partners are still contentious. The Waitangi Treaty Grounds is home to two of the nation's cultural icons. One is a carved Maori meeting house, and the other is the Waka, which is here in the video.
Now this was actually constructed for the centennial signing of the treaty, the 100-year celebrations, okay? It's all been traditionally handmade with those traditional hand tools. There's no nails or glues in any one of these lockers. It took them just over 2 years to construct. It's made out of 3 giant Cody trees. Okay, if you have a look on the inside.
This ceremonial waka tower, or war canoe, was built in 1940, as our guide said, to commemorate 100 years since the treaty was signed. And in 2010, it was refurbished. It's now 35 metres long, 2 metres wide, weighs 12 tonnes, and can take a crew of up to 80 paddlers and 55 passengers.
Because of what's happening in that little township straight across the water. He actually arrived here in 1833, 7 years before the coming of the treaty. He goes across there to Paihia, and he stayed with the missionaries in Paihia. He stayed with those missionaries in Paihia because he's awaiting for his house to arrive. This house was actually built in Australia. It is New Zealand's first IKEA house. Flat cat kitchen, brought it from Bunnings. It's built in Australia, they break it all.
Yeah! To the Waitangi Treaty Grounds and of course to your multicultural experience here today. My name is Alicia and I'm going to briefly explain to you how our show works. We'll start off for the traditional Maori welcoming ceremony.
While our histories, our stories and genealogies have been passed down through the wooden carvings and the woven panels that you see throughout our meeting.
Leaving the Bay of Islands this morning and heading north a little bit. Apparently there's big kingfish up here. All the boats out here this morning fishing. A good sign. Oh, it's a spectacular part of the coast. Maybe I should get a lure out now. I think so. Now this looks like a spectacular kingfish spot. Oh, finally blue sky, beautiful. There's a little reef in between that little rock there and that rock there. So we'll see what happens when we get into this bit of an upwelling area. Having an amazing sail today. It's just got 9 or 10 knots on the beam at about 90 degrees. Got the genoa and the main up, and they're doing like 6, 7 knots. Lovely. Nice gap slot there. Oh, these are the days we really love. Moving up north a little bit. Have a little bit of fun. See if I can't catch a decent sized kingfish. But oh, what a great day to sail. one of the absolute pleasures about living aboard a sailboat and, sailing along the coast is when you get scenes like this. I mean, how can it get any better than that? These dolphins hung in front of the boat there for a good half hour or more. It was just a spectacular scene.
We entered the Whangaroa Harbour through that narrow entrance there in the middle of the screen and motored into a bay called Waitangi, which was a very nice anchorage. We took our dinghy around to Maori Harbour. We went there with Toria, our Australian friends, with the plan to climb up to Duke's Nose, which is in the left of the screen. The walk starts at a little Department of Conservation hut in Maori Bay. The whole of Whangaroa Harbour has got really interesting geological formations, and the rock apparently is called andesite breccia. That's the little dock hut there. We anchored in this little bay, and unfortunately when we came back the tide had gone out a long way, and so we had to drag the dinghy over the sand and the rocks.
Yeah. That's significantly nice. I wonder where that goes.
Yeah, it's not on Maps Me.
But there's signs in that.
Parts of the track were quite challenging for us older retired people, but little 5-year-old Pippi just scampered up there, so I felt I had to give it my best effort. And there were no mishaps, fortunately.
Gotta give me some love, nah, nah. Gotta give me some love, nah, nah, nah. Gotta give me some love, nah, nah, nah. You gotta give me some love, nah, nah, nah. Gotta give me some love, nah, nah, nah.
Oh gosh, I'm not sure about this.
Yeah, it's going. You just pull on your arms and bring your knee up.
That's the hardest bit, Maggie.
Is it?
That's it.
Well,
That's it. Put it there.
no.
You made it.
Give us a look, Margie.
It was a very happy moment to get to the top of this thing, and I decided I wasn't going to think about getting back down for quite a while. I bought some of his Manuka honey, but no, Kanuka. Get a sense of the scale of this plateau on the top of the deep snows here using drone.
Why, Pip? That looks a mighty long way down there.
a second.
Later that afternoon, we all took our dinghies out to Stephenson Island, where we did some fishing and Chris did some diving. And then we discovered a hole in the rock. And Chris and Russ insisted on going through.
We're gonna go through it! Oh, comes up quite a bit there. 7 meters. 5.